Scuttlebutt podcast here in the Associated Foundation's Training Center. And thank you to everybody that's been listening to our podcasts. The amazing Keel Hauler informed us that we were up in the top 5 last week. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, something
like
that. 5%, 10%.
Top 5% download. And I think that's really good. And hopefully we're providing some content of value. Joined by the normal crowd today, we've got Dr. Roundup to my left, who is...
Doctor now.
Promotion.
Who is promoted.
Where's your degree from?
Did you actually kill that bougainvillea to get
Home
the
Depot.
promotion?
As we learned yesterday, he spent a total of 2.5 hours in Home Depot over the weekend.
Wow.
And
just a Saturday morning, not even the whole weekend.
and forgot the Roundup. He forgot the Roundup.
Well, I already had the Roundup at home.
But he walked away with kitchen materials.
Uh-oh.
And his fiance, so for everybody knowing, Kyle is getting married next year, I hear. His fiance stripped him of his Home Depot hall pass. So hopefully he earns it back in about 30 days.
Busted.
She's on the verge of losing her Target hall pass, so it's a fair balance.
There's some negotiation to go on.
Yeah, but Target is going to have a supply chain crisis. We talk supply chain.
Yeah.
Target is going to have clearance items over the next couple months after their earnings report yesterday, as we saw.
Ooh,
and so watch those. You may take her hall pass, give her the Home Depot hall pass. You take the Target one, and then you can go.
We
pick
have
up
far
deals.
too many plants for her to be able to get a Home Depot hall pass.
Yeah, that
I
could be
have
trouble.
that problem. See, I have to go to Home Depot because if I send my wife, there isn't enough room in the car for like wood because it's full of plants.
Yeah, I had that problem over the weekend. We also have nuts and bolts over here. None of the nuts and bolts might get
I don't
her.
have a plant problem.
No plant problem.
I have asphalt in my lawn. In fact, I bought fake lawn today.
You bought fake lawn today?
Yeah, 6x8 piece of AstroTurf.
Oh, that's really nice. Do you have
Right in
to?
front of my window, right there on
I
the
am
asphalt.
so glad that you are dealing with the California drought crisis in a positive way.
Absolutely. I'm the green guy. It's green all right in
It's
front
green
of my...
green AstroTurf.
Absolutely.
You don't even have a dog or anything to use that AstroTurf.
No, but I got raccoons.
Oh, yeah. But they
I see them every
use
night. They come by and say hi. I mean, they're my buds. They stare at me. I'm serious. I got pictures. It's
Actually,
amazing.
you bring up raccoons, and I'm derailing the conversation already, but I was in an event last night, and I was asked by a 20-some-odd-year Navy veteran that had visited the ship multiple times and said, I just have to ask, why don't you use rat guards? You need those for
Because we
sure.
have Interstate 5 coming up fore and aft.
We have 32 feet of gangway right up the side of the ship, and he goes, oh, that's pretty, okay, that makes sense. And I said, on top of it, he's like, what about rat problems? And I said, we have a whole family of raccoons, and I think they eat the rats. So we got the rat problem dealt with. We only have raccoons.
Our raccoons are pretty healthy. They're pretty big kids.
They're pretty
chunky.
bold.
Eat
I was
rats,
down
though.
there running fiber on the pier, and I couldn't get one to get out of my way. He's just looking at me like, what the heck?
They stole my pizza one night. When I knocked on the window, they just looked at me. It's like,
Yeah, they're like, what?
They're domesticated.
They are completely
They are domesticated raccoons, and
little chubby raccoons.
I don't know if we can get a coyote to scare them off. Could we get a mongoose or
No, they're
something?
my buzz. Hey, leave them alone.
Ricky Tikki Tavi. I'm sorry, did I just derail your conversation there? What were we here to talk about anyway?
What was Ricky Tikki
He only
Tavi?
got halfway through.
Oh no, is he a mongoose? He's a mongoose, right? Does nobody else know
I
Ricky
have
Tikki
no
I
Tavi?
know,
idea.
I believe
remember
he
it
is a
somehow.
mongoose.
He's a mongoose.
You only got halfway around the room on your introductions before you
Maybe we
went
should
off
have
the
Vicky the
weeds.
raccoon. No more Vicky the dog, but Vicky the raccoon.
Yeah, they can be bandit.
Yeah, Bandit.
There you
That's
go.
a very bad plan.
And then, of course, we have, I always forget what we nicknamed you.
Still have
There's
it.
no
There's no
valid
nickname yet.
nickname
He was
right now.
token, wasn't
I
he?
rejected the token veteran. We have a whole veterans department now, so I'm no longer the token veteran. So you got to come up with something better.
Can I just go by Doc now if I've been...
Oh,
If I graduated.
nice move. Very nice move. He's trying to get Roundup out of him. That works.
I would say, as I look around the room, and he's going to kill me, but he's the only one I look around, and I think he's got a full head of white hair.
He doesn't
It's
have
not
white hair.
white.
Oh.
It's distinguished. It's salt
It's
and pepper.
distinguished.
He's got to
So-
get the lab coat then, right?
So do we call you Dr. Distinguished?
Dr. Distinguished. I don't know.
Ever-changing
I'm not
podcast nicknames.
I'm not a major award winner. I'm not as distinguished as some.
No, that only feeds your ego. I can get you an award if you would like an ego. I'll print a certificate. We have a crew party in July, and
I already have.
I can make each of you a major award winner come July.
I already have your major award for July.
Print major award winner.
Major.
You're gonna get a major award during that dinner.
Oh yeah,
I have
big
ordered.
big major award.
It is a big major award.
Major.
Major.
And then we're joined by today. She looks completely terrified at this point.
A little bewildered.
She's like, this is the first time I've seen the executive team sitting down like this. What the heck? Who have I
is
been
going
working
on?
for? What is going on?
So Kristen Burns-Agria?
Burns-Agria.
Agria. Okay. Kristen Burns-Agria.
You got to add the Latin to it.
Agria.
And we don't have a nickname for you yet.
Not yet.
But you joined when? You joined this crazy family?
I
at what
joined
point?
this crazy crew January of this year.
Okay. And why did you join this crew? Because we're just going to go straight into the interview.
Sounds great. So I am what's called a Department of Defense SkillBridge intern. So I'm active duty Navy, and I am on the last 6 months of my military contract. And during those 6 months, the Navy has allowed me to participate in SkillBridge, which is an internship to help me transition from military life to civilian life. My personal goal is to get into the field of tourism, and then I found the Battleship. So I've been learning everything about the tourism industry, whether it be here, how the museum runs, or out in the community of LA through networking with all of you great folks. And hopefully have a job lined up in a few weeks.
That's pretty cool. So let's talk about what led you to SkillBridge when you were in the Navy. I mean, you're still in the Navy, I guess, but I don't really look at you as in the Navy today because...
I'm still under contract. So,
yeah, you're still under contract. So technically, yes, you were in the
Mind
Navy.
my P's and Q's.
Flew under the radar during Fleet Week. That was pretty
they
cool.
may be recording you on this one, monitoring the podcast. Don't worry, we had a couple active last week, so you're fine.
Yeah, so, I mean, when I first joined the military, I thought I was going to do like what most of my shipmates do is 4 and out the door. So I'm now at 12 years in. I just keep on dragging through the career. I kept getting great opportunities. Every time I'd want to get out, the Navy would say, well, do you want to do this really cool thing though? I'm like, all right, you know what? I guess I'll stick around for another 4. At this point, at 12 years, I'm being faced with a bigger decision. There are still some cool opportunities for me in the Navy, but they don't align with what I would like for my future. And so I was ready for the next step. And simultaneously, I just graduated with my bachelor's degree thanks to the Navy's tuition assistance program.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I started in 2004, so.
Wow.
Don't worry, I was on a 7-year program. I did it too.
I did the 22-year program for my bachelor's, so
Yeah.
I get it.
I think I spent half of my life in university now, so I guess that ages me a little bit, but
nobody's listening. It's
that's
fine.
great. So so now that I've finished my degree and I'm at this point where I'm ready for the next step, I figured why not take advantage of SkillBridge, and SkillBridge is a new program for the military as well. So as soon as I heard about it, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Do you want to end up on the streets like a lot of veterans unfortunately do, or take advantage of the programs that are offered to us nowadays that our previous shipmates and soldiers didn't have the opportunity for?
So was it presented to you in a class when you were in the Navy, or how did you find out SkillBridge even existed?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I arrived at a new command in 2019, and I was the leading petty officer of my what's called a holding division. It's where you're in waiting for your actual job seat to open up. And one of my junior sailors was doing SkillBridge, and we were still accounting for them on the Navy side just to check in with them regularly and make sure that they're alive and well and if they need anything. And I was like, what is this SkillBridge thing? I've never heard of it before. So as a good leader, I sat down with all of my sailors, including that one, and asked, what is this program that you're doing? I've never heard of it before. Please tell me about it. Educate your senior leader, please. So that's how I learned about it, just through word of mouth.
So when you decided to do it, you just went online? I mean, you just found it and filled out paperwork and just went for it?
More or less. There's a website. There's not a lot of resource to talk to people through that website. It may be a little bit more improved now that it's been a few years since I started looking at that. But it really was a lot of looking up instructions. It's the military way. looking up instructions, reading instructions about, well, this is how you do A, B, and C, then you get D, E, and F. And I had to do the paperwork and all of the footwork for myself. I had to educate my leaders and my boss about what it is and why I want it and why it's good for me. And even when I found you guys here at Pacific Battleship Center, I was the one educating you on what SkillBridge is, how to join the program, how to get involved, and how to get it started.
It is really, unfortunately, it's typical of a lot of programs that are available to veterans and to active duty. They are great programs. They are built with the best of intentions. There is just a disconnect on how to get people connected with the program. And it's very interesting. When I was a senior enlisted advisor, we had the problem with connecting programs with people because we had great programs and we had great people, and the connection point is often missing.
Yes. Within my command, we started having a point of contact who would be in charge of knowing everything SkillBridge, and they would be your person to go to. And then other commands also started building that up as well. And that's kind of how we do with most programs that are offered to you. You get a point of contact that is your liaison. They're the ones who have to learn everything and hopefully pass on the word to everybody else.
And we're actually working, the Veterans Department right now is seeking grant funding to hire a SkillBridge coordinator, SkillBridge navigator position where we can not only do the intake for SkillBridge, but we can actually do the outreach to other commands, where we can talk to various military commands, active duty commands, and let them know what that SkillBridge program is, and then be that liaison to do the intake, and then work with our partners to get a SkillBridge candidate placed out where they can have the real world experience that they're after.
So we got connected in a really oddball, strange way. You had been reaching out to people. Well, you decided to come to LA.
Yes.
You and your spouse decided to come to LA.
My spouse got a full-time position out here. They've been following me around for 10 of my 12 years of service, so it was my turn to follow them. They got a job out here, and I took that as a narrowing down my scope. I need to find an internship in LA. So I was hitting up every major tourism type player in the city, and I got connected with Don Liu. And he is the one who referred me to Jonathan.
We never set up lunch with Don, have we?
No, we didn't.
We need to do that.
And I heard he was supposed to come to Fleet Week, and I didn't see him.
I think he was at home that.
Yeah.
Now that I remember.
He retired, didn't he? Or is
no,
he
he's still at the tourism convention.
Oh,
he runs the convention
right.
center.
Yeah.
He's got to be busy right now. I probably shouldn't send him an email right now, but Don's a great guy.
Yeah.
And so Don connected you over to us, and I think how many people had you gone through to even get to that point?
Oh my gosh! Before my spouse got the job out here, I was looking worldwide. I was contacting people in other countries. I was contacting people everywhere in the U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska, just everywhere. The way that my spouse and I are, we're really flexible. We were ready for something new, so we were open to move anywhere. And once we found out LA, I probably contacted maybe a dozen different organizations here in the metro area. And I got a call back maybe from 2, not including Joan. Those 2 were very confused on what exactly I was offering. Free labor for 6 months. They were like, what? I don't know. This sounds unusual.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. And then I never heard anything.
I'm calling from Nigeria with free labor.
Yeah, right.
All I need you to do is fill out this form.
Send $1 million.
Give me a bank account number. I have some money for you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that we really want to push as a SkillBridge coordinator position is the ability, because SkillBridge is, again, a great program. But if the civilian organizations don't understand it, they don't know what they're getting, and they don't know what the purpose of the program is. And the purpose of the program is really transition. It is to give a military member that soft landing where they've got one foot in each world and they can transition into the civilian world. And so if all it is a free internship, then you're going to have a number of players in the civilian world that just want free labor, and that's probably not going to meet the needs of the program directly. Yeah, and so we're pretty excited with I'm going to share a story if you don't mind.
Yeah.
It was your first interaction with me, and it really, I say this a lot, and I apologize, I don't want to embarrass you, but it was like, this is exactly what SkillBridge is about. And I'm a retired Chief Petty Officer. You are in the Navy, and I'm on the executive team. And the first interaction was, you're a vice president? Yes. You're a chief? Yes. What do I call you?
Yeah.
And my answer was, my name is David. And the response I remember was, I'm really uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, good. That's exactly what SkillBridge is about. It's getting over those humps and over those discomforts.
And I can't say 6 months has cured me yet from that, because I think I just called you chief yesterday.
You know, I was actually thinking about that, and I'm like, there are a lot of guys a lot of people on the crew that call me chief, but they're not required to.
Yeah.
And so at the point that, you're comfortable doing that, I'm comfortable with that. Certainly don't require it. It becomes a term of respect or term of endearment rather than a required rank acknowledgement. And that's probably the right answer also.
It's almost like a code switch for me. So my job in the military was as a language analyst or a linguist. And if you've ever studied a foreign language or spoke a foreign language, sometimes there's like that switch that you have to click, like, oh, okay, wait, I'm speaking English now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have this code switch between military and civilian. And I had been dealing recently with a lot of my military counterparts back east. And then I ran into David and I was like, oh, thanks, Chief. Oh, crap.
It's all good. It's all good.
I was on military mode.
So as you went through that, I mean, was it frustrating to have to find some place to go? Like how much you had to work it? Did sometimes you just get frustrated and just kind of like, ugh? Oh,
it was extremely nerve-wracking. So my 6 month mark, so 6 months out to the end of my contract, would have been January 3rd. So right after New Year's. And here it was, Jonathan, I think we met like 2 weeks before that.
Yeah. When did
maybe.
you start working on the process?
We have to put in our paperwork with the Navy a year before.
Oh my
and then
Lord.
and then at the, how do I explain this? A year before January. So it would have been January the year before that I got approved to participate in SkillBridge. And that's done by my commanding officer saying, okay, yeah, we can leave your billet or your job position open and vacant for that 6 month period, because technically I'm still sitting in that seat, so they can't fill it, right? And once I got that approval, then a year out from my separation date, which was July of last summer, that was when I was allowed to start looking for an internship. So then from July until December when we met, it was just like getting closer and closer and closer, creeping up to that line, right? And I want to make sure that I mention this, that there are hundreds of organizations that are already affiliated with SkillBridge. It's just that none of them really fit what I was looking for. So, and every service member is encouraged to go out and find a new organization to add to the SkillBridge partnership. And that's what I did with Pacific Battleship Center, because it fit more of what I was looking for in the field of tourism and in the LA area. So, I mean, it took all that time. I was just creeping closer and closer to the deadline, and we squeezed under that closing door.
Yeah.
It happened fast.
I've never seen the Navy move that fast in my life.
No, I gotta imagine it's frustrating. And as we look at, our veterans programs here, which a lot of them I look at, reactive or late in the game from a mental health side, or some of those programs that they do, homelessness and food insecurity and that kind of thing, that you kind of, when you look at what you went through just to be able to get into a program and how much work you had to put in and persevering. I mean, hearing all that work, we really should have hired you for the development team, because I mean, that's what Kyle does, is he calls people all day long, tries to convince them to give us money.
You know anything about Roundup?
Yeah.
I have a black
Are you
thumb,
a
not a green
doctor?
thumb.
Are you a doctor?
If you have a black thumb, you should go tend his bougainvillea.
So to not everybody's going to have that much perseverance or that big of a
Yeah.
push to get through it, and they're just going to give up.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's very true.
And that may lead to late in the game veterans things. Some of the stuff we're dealing with late in the game, and I think that's an important role in that. So now we're 6 months later. We're 5 months later at this point.
Yes.
And you kind of describe. Did you discover who you were while you were here, like civilian wise, and kind of you got more friends than I do at this point. I think so.
Well, I do tease my spouse a lot that I have more friends than she does too. So, so did I discover myself? I mean,
From a civilian
discovering
side.
myself is a lifelong process. I don't think that's
Yeah,
going to
and
happen.
I'm not saying person like
Yeah,
in a
but
personal world.
professionally-
From a professional side, from a civilian transition side, kind of discover
Yes.
your civilian.
Yes, and I also I think the most important thing to take away from it is that I started out thinking I need to figure out which department I belong to. Where do I fit into this puzzle that already has like a form? And about like halfway through, I sat down with a few of you and to discuss what I've been learning and how to process it. And I realized that it wasn't which department do I fit into? It's what aspects did I learn about myself and who I am? And it might not be a specific department, but it might be just in general, like, oh, I like a certain aspect of development. I like a certain aspect of tour. I like a certain aspect of tech, and boots on the ground, like everything. And what does that mean about me? And what does that mean about what I want for the next chapter in my professional life? So yeah, that I learned definitely a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, and that's a program that we really want. My biggest concern, again, as a veteran and running the programs here, is that SkillBridge will pick up a candidate and use them and not teach them what they need to do to transition, right? And that's our goal here is to give people that 1 foot in each community, soft transition, soft landing. It's a familiar environment, but it's a civilian organization. And so that allows you to kind of come in and do the sampler platter, right? It's
Yes.
like, what is it that I like about the various places I'm working, and then connect with people that we're partners with to potentially get that job offer, or at least the networking to get to the relationship to get the job offer.
And that was the next hugest thing, was networking that I learned from all of this. Just seeing how Pacific Battleship Center networks for the betterment of the organization here, but also the support that I had going out into the community and being able to do luncheons with the Travel Tourism Marketing Association, going out and meeting other players in the city and doing like any kind of little get to know their business for the day, something like that, and just having coffee with somebody. Building that mentorship relationship with a few different people
Do you
around the
smoke
city.
cigars?
I don't, but being around the big stick made me want to. Those are bad influence.
I'd like to just say that you kind of came into a already formed family, here, and you stepped in, and frankly, you fit right in. I mean, it was fun to
Yeah,
have you.
very fast.
You kind of poked your nose into my little world for a week. I mean, it was kind of tough because I'm all over the map, but it was wonderful, and you are part of the family.
Thank
Period.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. We already told you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Booked for Fleetwood
you have
next
somewhere to be here every weekend.
Yeah.
Don't be disappearing. I mean, when it comes to dodgeball, you're coming back.
Oh my gosh.
Or
that was
cornhole tournaments. I mean, you have to play on this team, so don't disappear unless you really want to disappear and
How much
not
time do you
here.
guys have on the court? A minute and a half? Is
Yeah,
it-
maybe next time we do
Combined.
like
It's a combined 2 minutes.
Okay,
Give
I
us
was
that.
thinking I'm trying to be generous.
maybe
in the
next
warm-up
time we
time. Yes.
match up against active duty, we should do a non-contact sport.
Yeah, I think we should do like cornhole or beer
Yeah.
pong or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Something a little
oh
bit
yeah.
more professional.
There we go.
Bocce.
Yeah, professional beer pong, right?
Professional beer pong.
Yeah.
Where was I? I was at
Yard games.
I was at an event.
Croquet.
Long darts.
Shuffleboard.
It like
I was so close to making a rude Air Force comment. I'm sorry.
we were
Sorry
talking
to my Air
about.
Force
Oh, it was in
brethren.
that meeting we were in
Sister.
the other day,
Yeah.
and the totally off the wall comment by the people that we were talking to. and it was like this professional setting, and everybody is like serious about everything, and we get to the tables that we need for this event. Remember this? And she's like, well, are we talking about the what'd she say? Are we talking about a beer pong table or a poker table? And it was like, you mean a rectangle 6-footer or a round table? But no, it calculated as a beer pong table or a poker
Beer
table.
pong can be done at almost any kind of table.
It can, but that's just the fact that it calculated into that. So, I mean,
We will use anything but metrics to size things up. Yeah.
I liked how that calculated.
It is an American thing, right? We measure in football fields, but certainly not metric.
Give me a 6-foot table. No, get me a beer pong table. We need 12 poker tables and 10 beer pong tables.
A beer pong might be an 8-foot table.
Yeah, that may be an 8-footer.
Yeah, I think so.
That's got to be an 8-foot folding table.
I grew up
He
playing
needs
quarters.
a handicap.
Quarters is different.
Table ping pong.
Oh yeah, quarters is a round table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarters is any flat surface.
So as you prepare to, I guess, move on, I'm not going to say exit because you're not exiting, but
Quitter.
move on. Quitter.
Wow.
I think you have
moving
about a
up.
month.
Harsh
Moving
in
up.
here.
You have about a month.
Oh, she's moving up.
She's moving up. Yeah, she's going to the next echelon
Good
of
comeback.
folks. She
Wow.
finally came. She finally found something better.
Look at her. She's turning red.
Not a high bar.
It's the sunburn from Fleet Week.
So you got about a month left, and I'm not going to say anything about where you may be going or any of that on the podcast, because everybody will find that out, because we will make you come back on.
We're not going to cry. We're not going to
and
cry.
like I told you last week, we would hire you in a heartbeat. But I also know why you're looking at going where you're going, and
Yes.
it's closer to home. So I'm not
Yes.
going to even extend a job offer because I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable situation.
Sure.
Wow.
I'm happy to extend a job offer, trust me, but
All you got to do is ask.
Wash the car while the executives.
No, you
Don't take my
would,
job.
to be honest with
I
you,
got a truck.
to be honest with you, and I'm gonna catch you on the podcast here, and you're gonna be like, I wanted to offer you a roving position that you and Moran were able to be and I didn't even know what the title would be. It would be like it's like a special projects person, but the problem with the word special projects
That's
is
where
like
good people go
that's
to
where
die.
the exit door is. That title is like a deal killer for everybody, and that's just, it literally was like special projects working on cool things. But you give somebody that title and it's like, oh, they were on the way out the door, so you don't give it. But it'd be like, random project, random program manager. What are you?
No, the doctor over there is messing with his microphone.
Oh, I thought he was.
Stethoscope. Sorry.
I thought he was looking at you. I thought it was a stethoscope.
It like has no moving parts, and he was able to get it to move. So I'm not sure what's up with that.
Now
Like
he's
a-
got the Fleet Week sunburn going on.
I know.
It's a little bit.
Oh boy.
He doesn't have
I
the
didn't want to
raccoon
break
eyes
anything.
though. So I do know you're not disappearing,
That's true.
and I also know where hopefully you definitely end up, which is actually one of the coolest places you could end up. I have no doubt. I've heard that they want to be further involved in Fleet Week next year already.
Yes.
So that you won't have any choice but to be involved. And so I think you're permanently stuck. And so congratulations. Welcome to the family.
Yeah. Don't twist my arm or anything.
Once you're in, you can't get out.
When you join this family, you can't leave.
This is like
So-
This Is Us.
Yeah. But in
Or the
closing...
Godfather.
Yeah, the Godfather.
A little bit too much like the mafia.
I think in closing, I really want to raise awareness, and I've had an opportunity to interact with several SkillBridge candidates, because I don't know what you're doing, Instagramming, TikToking, whatever you got going on, they're all finding it here. But I've actually interacted with several. Jenny's way more than I've interacted with, and it really has raised awareness to me that it is a wonderful program. But there is still challenges in supporting folks to provide them an opportunity just to land somewhere and discover where they may, what their trade, not even their trade skills, what their personality skills are, what they like to interact with. And I think that's what what we're striving to do, is provide that opportunity for people to discover their professional side and be able to leave going, I know this is who I am. Or, even networking. I talked to some port folks yesterday, and they've got a big workforce development thing here where they want to hire more crane operators and more cargo movement. I mean, we've talked to the refineries all the time. There is a number of our corporate partners and sponsors. I think UPS is hiring 150,000 people
Wow.
for drivers that are $100,000 a year plus jobs.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
It's a good
fantastic.
place to work.
and these are folks that we easily have relationships with. And while the veteran may reach out directly to a single person at UPS through the system or Amazon, I mean, they may just get inundated where we're able to bring somebody and help transition them, and then provide these companies an opportunity to bring somebody that's prepared and ready and skilled and ready to go. So that's where we're headed. Hopefully we can find some generous funders to fund that transition navigator coordinator program. Because I think it's been great for us. It's been great.
You set the bar really high.
Yeah, that's
Bar
the
really high.
scary part.
Yeah, but that's not a bad thing.
No,
Yeah.
not at
You know,
all.
it's not a bad thing at all, because SkillBridge does select some of the best candidates out there, and to give them the opportunity to succeed is part of our mission.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And I'll never forget the first time that I talked to Jonathan over the phone, and he said, look, after the few minutes, and I probably sounded like a nervous rat, he was like, look, this isn't an interview. You're going to come out here. We're going to get you out here. So
Yeah.
like, this is just the right thing to do. That's what the Pacific Battleship Center does. This
Yeah.
is the right thing to do, and we're going to do it.
Yep.
They don't
And-
give you an option. You are coming to us. Yeah.
And it was just like kind of a relief off of my shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, okay, somebody who gets it, someone who's I felt like you guys were going to take care of me, whether I was going to be successful here on the ship or out in town or anywhere in the world, that it was a
We'll make sure
good
we
place
get
to
you
go.
there. It's
I was
I
gonna
think
say,
it's-
Now I'm red.
Do you still feel that way 6 months later?
It's really hard. It's really hard for me to go. It is.
If you start crying, I'm going to start crying.
I'm
Don't
not.
do it.
I'm
Don't
not
do
going
it.
to.
yeah,
I'm
you've
not
started
going to.
crying a few times already, and then I start crying, and the whole place starts crying.
Would it make you feel better if he just fired you or something?
How about
Take the edge
July?
off a little bit?
You know, we can schedule it right now. July 8th, we're going to have a Kristen termination party.
You're fired July 8th.
You're fired July 9th. We got to wait till July 8th. I think July 8th's the official day of the
July
end of your
2nd.
SkillBridge. Oh, July 2nd.
I know.
Oh, you know, we
How
have
convenient.
We have
you know,
the,
July 1st, we have that party that night, so we could actually add that to the script. We're going to celebrate Kristen
There
on
is
July
a new
1st,
sponsorship level. Yeah.
Too. Yeah, that's our 10-year anniversary that
termination
weekend.
Yes,
Kristen.
yes.
And so we're going to celebrate your
sounds like a
move
movie.
to your next. Oh,
It'll
it's
be
like
a major award for everyone else, but then like a boot for me, right?
you know, we got to call
You need to
something.
come to the award. You need to come to the awards banquet, which is
October.
Volunteer awards, yeah.
Oh, the volunteer one in June.
The crew appreciation.
Yeah,
is,
you
is
do
at
it.
the
Oh,
end
yeah.
of June, because we could probably get you a boot award.
Yeah, we can get you the
probably
boot.
get that.
Everybody gets random awards,
Like the paddle for the CHC.
but we do need to figure out something that
punishment for
celebrates
Greg.
somebody when they get out of SkillBridge. We're gonna have to figure out some kind of, I don't know, graduation party, even if
How about
it's
just a Swiss Army knife?
Divorce papers.
divorce
Nice.
papers. Yeah, sign the divorce paper. All right. Well, thanks for joining on the podcast, and hopefully,
Thanks for
even
being
in
here,
6
and
months.
thanks for everything you've done here.
Thank
for
you guys
being
for
you.
having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You have definitely been part of the family and remain part of the family. I'm going to jump in there as we're trying to wrap it up. If you guys have questions about SkillBridge, our programs, our organization, or requests for the podcast@labattleship.com. Go ahead and send us the email podcast@labattleship.com.
French.
Cool.
Le
Until next
Battleship.
time, we have a schedule where we're recording these randomly when we have an opportunity, and so we look forward to who may be next up on the dinner plate, which we don't really know at the moment.
figure
But
it out.
stay tuned. We'll have some interesting, exciting folks involved. Thank you all. Enjoy.